Good evening. I'm Larry Hamilton of 1104 Maplewood Drive. I want to thank City Manager Gary Huff, Mayor Kazi Hines, and Commissioner Chris Lee in regards to the meeting which took place on 9/4/18. As a result of that discussion, I better understood my level of misunderstanding with the city ownership identity of the adjacent property next to my lot at 655 North Main Street. To me, the principal outcome of that meeting was the recognition that open dialogue is a sure way to avoid greater strife, contention, and confusion. And I sure wish the city of Piqua would have possessed a higher level of commitment to Resolution R-110-07 and had accepted more willingness in valuing and memorializing the struggle for freedom. A part of my problem in some instances is that I am only one. But at the same time, I am one who feels empowered and emboldened by God to make a total commitment to my personal vision for Piqua, and I am willing to continue this struggle to glorify God and memorialize and honor the ancestors by any means necessary to be undertaken with the focus upon doing the right thing. To this end, I want to take a little time to inform the Commission and my Piqua neighbors of an enactment earlier this year by President Donald Trump. President Trump signed into law a bill that establishes the 400 Years of African American History Commission to develop and carry out activities throughout the United States to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the English colony near Jamestown, Virginia in 1619. The Commission must plan programs to acknowledge the impact that slavery and laws that enforce racial discrimination had on the United States. It also encourages civic, patriotic, historical, educational, artistic, religious, and economic organizations to organize and participate in anniversary activities. It assists states, localities, and nonprofit organizations to further the commemoration and coordinate for the public scholarly research on the arrival of Africans in the United States and their contributions to this country. The City Commission and the residents of Piqua are uniquely equipped to plan events and activities in association with this observance because of the connection of Piqua to the Randolph historical narrative. In fact, in my humble opinion, there is no African and or African American historical legacy associated with slavery in the United States history greater than that which can be seen and studied through the connectivity of the African nation of Benin's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade and the purchase of that slave labor by Randolph family members in colonial Virginia. The Randolphs were related to many of the founding fathers of the nation who exploited slave labor in order to advance their own struggle for freedom in America against the tyranny of Great Britain. But they lacked commitment to the democratic principles and God-given rights expressed as ideas in our Declaration of Independence. Their failures and institutionalized privileges would embark the nation upon a course of internal conflict in fighting the Civil War and a period of Jim Crow oppression and slavery by other names for over a century thereafter. Even today, the struggle for freedom continues against so-called cultural warriors, evoking patriotic fervor over our flag and the singing of our national anthem, which is still directly tied to the Randolph narrative of Piqua and the need to be informed by way of an inclusive historical heritage. Whose we are matters who we are. Thank you.
Larry, can I ask a clarification question?
Absolutely.
So the 400 years is 1619, so it would be next year, not this year?
Correct.
Is there an actual date for that?
I believe it's August 2nd. Don't hold me to that, but I think it might be August 2nd as the actual observance of the anniversary. But I don't want us to get bogged down with a particular date. Rather, I think that we ought to be considering ongoing events and activities throughout the course of the year. So I wanted to particularly avoid February as Black History Month, where we would designate or delegate, some observance in connection with the 400th anniversary. But throughout the entire year, there should be some activities taking place that would commemorate the 400th anniversary.
Do you have ideas as to what?
As a matter of fact, thank you. I have lots of ideas, and I would love to be in a position to share with many others who have an interest in promoting the observation of the anniversary, particularly in conjunction with the Randolph narrative. So I welcome the opportunity to share with people. As a matter of fact, I was just in the library today asking why there wasn't a greater promotion of the traveling exhibit in association with the Randolph exhibition that is in the Piqua Library. I think it's an excellent opportunity for Piqua to promote itself and that recognition of its inclusive historical heritage. But we're not taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities that we have before this city to shine a light on many positive things that we could be involved in.
Well, and I would say, having been involved with the Black History Month out there with Marva Archibald at Edison and a variety of other people, I would encourage you to tap into those of us up here that would be willing to be part of that, folks at Edison, folks at the churches as well, and maybe just form a committee and start now with you at the lead, because I think you have the passion and the vision, but to get a committee around you to then start thinking and brainstorming about what these ideas can be and what these events can be. I agree. I think it's important to acknowledge it, but we're going to need somebody like you and your passion to bring a group of us together to start talking about that at this point.
And the more people that know about the various ideas that you have, the more likely you're going to attract more people. So accessing the media at different levels, whether it's print or Channel 7, social media as well is another venue that you can access to get your ideas out so that people know what it is that you want.
Well, I really want to involve many people, and particularly people at the grassroots level.
They got to know
Yeah,
in order to get
you need
involved.
to tap them. I was going to
Yeah.
say, you need to tap them.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily take all of the responsibility on my shoulders. I think it should be a shared and mutual obligation and responsibility on the part of the citizens of Piqua. Now, I want to take a leadership role, okay? And I was frankly talking with some people today about utilizing the News or Lose game concept to promote a Randolph narrative that could be offered through all of the schools in the state of Ohio, and developing questions and then having others in various regions around the state use a Google document to edit and review and make suggestions as to how the questions that I may have already developed could be utilized at various grade levels, where they be, intermediate or junior high or high school. So that's one of the things, and just one simple thing, but I have lots of ideas, and I'd love to be able to have access to organizations and individuals to share additional information.
And I think you do have access to that. I think it's going to take you tapping and connecting with Dwayne Thompson, with Doreen Larson at Edison, and getting. And I think Commissioner Lee and myself would be very interested to be involved in this. I'm sorry to speak for you, Commissioner Lee,
Fine.
but I know that
No,
you
that's
have
fine.
passion for this
I
as
do.
well. But I think it's going to take you to grab those people you want. I agree it's going to take a group of people to do it, but we need you with the vision to kind of call all those people together to move us forward.
I appreciate that, and I think that, you know, this is a big first step on the part of having the citizens of the city of Piqua recognize that there is a leadership component on the city commission that wants to take an initiative, that wants to be involved, that wants to be a force driving forward this effort on behalf of the city to create a more inclusive historical heritage and honor those who've gone before us.
Well, it's an important anniversary, 400 years. It's an important anniversary to acknowledge, and I think together we can get. I really want to challenge. I don't. Challenge isn't the right word, but I want to encourage you to get some people together and start planning now, in order to make sure we have some things in line when that happens.
Thank
Okay?
you very much.
Great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.